Hey my friends, I'm Faye. Welcome to my channel. My hometown is Tianjin, China. It's a city that got both the traditional culture of the East and the romantic vibe of the West. It's really something special. Here we've got traditional Chinese culture and handicrafts, plus the Western architecture from the Republican era. And don't forget about Tianjin's unique cuisine and snacks. Just follow my camera and let's explore Tianjin together. Tianjin was established as a city during the Ming Dynasty, and is the latest city in ancient China to be built according to historical records. It can also be said to be the youngest city in ancient China. Tianjin is a place where the lower reaches of 9 rivers meet, and many rivers flow through the sea from here. Among them, the ancient North-South Canal and the natural river Haihe converge here, and ships stop here for transit. Therefore, Tianjin was an important land and water terminal for the transportation of grain and silk from southern China to the north in ancient times. During the Ming Dynasty, Zhu Di, the third emperor of the Ming Dynasty, sailed south from here to fight with his nephew for the throne. After returning victorious, he named this ferry as Tianjin, which means the ferry of the Son of Heaven. From then on, Tianjin began to be built as a city. In the late Qing Dynasty and the Republic of China period, due to its geographical advantages of being close to the sea and near the capital Beijing, many factories and schools were established here, making it a center of economy and industry in northern China. In addition, many countries set up concessions here, making Tianjin a frontier city for China's modern foreign trade. At this time, Tianjin gathered many literary, wealthy businessmen and politicians. Many Western-style buildings were built in the concession areas on both sides of the Haihe River, making people wrongly think they had arrived abroad. Therefore, it was also called the Little Paris of the East. Until today, Tianjin still preserves many buildings from the Republican era. All kinds of people have lived in these buildings since they were built, and many stories have happened inside. Only these buildings remain now, while those people in the stories have long vanished into history. In 1925, the last emperor of the Qing dynasty, Puyi, fled to the Tianjin Japanese concession after being expelled from the Forbidden City by the warlords, seeking refuge from the Japanese and living bravely in Tianjin Jingyuan and Zhangyuan. Now we're in Jingyuan Garden, which is a residence of the last emperor of China, Puyi, and the architecture of Jingyuan Garden is a combination of Chinese and Western style. With traditional Chinese symmetrical layout and curved eaves, plus the Western details, it shows unique charm in a historical context. Here, Puyi often discussed with politicians and warlords on how to restore the Qing dynasty, listened to the music and a gramophone, and danced with his wife. He also went to bars and celebrity dances in the concessions frequently, experiencing the freedom he had never possessed in the Forbidden City. Later, as the situation changed, the Japanese controlled the three northeastern provinces of China, established the puppet state of Metropole, and invited Puyi to go there as an emperor. With a dream of restoring the Qing dynasty, Puyi left Tianjin for the northeast China and became a puppet emperor of the Japanese. When Puyi fled from the Forbidden City, he brought many family members with him, among whom Wan Rong and Wen Xiu were Puyi's wife and concubine respectively. Their personalities are completely different. Wan Rong had a weak and obedient personality, while Wen Xiu was strong-willed. These two completely different personalities led to their different endings. Wen Xiu was unwilling for Puyi to defect to the Japanese and tried to dissuade him many times, but in return he was disgusted. Under Puyi's neglect and Wan Rong's exclusion, Wen Xiu left Jingyuan and later proposed to divorce Puyi, becoming the first concubine in Chinese history to divorce an emperor. On the contrary, Wan Rong relied on Puyi a lot in life. Although she lived a happy life with Puyi in Tianjin, she later followed Puyi to the northeast and was left off due to long-term disgust with Puyi. She spent all day with opium and suffered from schizophrenia. After Japan surrendered in 1945, she was abandoned by Puyi on the road to escape and finally died of illness. They were both wives of Puyi, but ended up with different fates, which is regrettable. But it also reflects that even nobles cannot protect themselves during the war, let alone ordinary people. As time goes by, residential buildings have been built near Jingyuan, and this place has become a paradise for small animals. Only this building, carrying history, is left to witness the development of the city silently. The place we are now in is the Five Great Avenues, which was a British concession during the Republic of China era. Its name comes from the 5 main roads in this area, and there are many villas built during the late Qing dynasty and Republic of China periods. After the end of the Qing government's rule, many declining nobles came to live in the concessions and built villas, followed by social elites, wealthy businessmen, and government officials at that time. Because it was inside the concession, it became a safe haven for celebrities and the rich during the war. Up to now, there are more than 50 former residents of famous people in the 5 Great Avenues, among which the owners include presidents, generals, diplomats, metro royal nobles, artists, industrialists, and others from the Republican era. In terms of design, there are architectural styles from countries such as England, France, Italy, Germany, and Spain, as well as a combination of Chinese and Western architectural styles. The building in front of us is a Peace Hotel, and a stone tablet lists the national leaders and social actives who lived here in the last century. It's a 3-story duplex villa with a history of more than 90 years, and is still in operation today. This villa is called Run Garden, which was originally the former residence of Sun Zhenfang an industrialist in the Republic of China. It's a Spanish-style building. After the founding of the People's Republic of China, Mao Zedong came to live here. His character was Runzhi, so this villa was named Runyuan. This place is located in a secluded corner of the 5 great avenues. Looking at the scenery in the courtyard, my mind also calmed down. After more than 100 years, the buildings and 5 great avenues have evolved from villas to office and dormitories, and now some are used for commercial purposes, becoming unique restaurants, while others have been protected and turned into historical museums. It has become a unique historical landscape in Tianjin. The core of the 5 Great Avenue is a Mingyuan Stadium, which was originally built by the British Concession for British expatriates. The architectural design was inspired by the Stamford Bridge Stadium in London at that time, gathering architectural styles from different countries. Since establishment, it has hosted the Royal Games, served as a parade ground and soldier training ground for the Nazi German Army in Tianjin during World War II, and served as a home stadium for the Tianjin football team after the founding of the People's Republic of China. It has witnessed the modern history and development of Tianjin. Nowadays, Mingyuan Stadium has become a leisure activity venue for Tianjin citizens and tourists. During holidays, concerts, music festivals, sports competitions, and festival celebrations are held here. The weather is nice today, and many citizens bring their children here for activities. We also join in and experience the unique relaxation of Tianjin people in this historic building. Tianjin, as a financial and industrial center of northern China during the Republic of China era, had many domestic and foreign banks and companies established here. Our current location is Jiefang North Road, which was Tianjin's financial street during the Republic of China era and was known as the Wall Street of the East. Here are gathered financial institutions such as HSBC, Citibank, and Qing Dynasty Post Office, as well as companies and shops such as Astor Hotel and Watson's Pharmacy. Some of these buildings have now become museums, while others are still bank headquarters today. This iron bridge was originally called the Wanguo Bridge. It was built in 1927 and connected the concession area with Tianjin Railway Station. It's an important passage connecting the two sides of the Haihe River. This place was once an important hub for the People's Liberation Army to liberate Tianjin, so it is now called the Liberation Bridge. Now during holidays, the middle part of the bridge will open. It's also one of the landmark buildings in Tianjin. This is a century clock built in 2000 to commemorate the arrival of the new century. There are bronze reliefs of the 12 constellations on the dial, and sculptures of the sun and the moon on the 2 pillars. It's a giant clock that combines Chinese and Western styles, symbolizing that the city of Tianjin embraces multiple cultures. At night, with colorful lights on, here becomes a place for citizens to relax and take a walk after getting off work. Some take photos, some sit down for a cup of coffee, some enjoy the night view, and some sing by the riverside, all blending into the romantic night sky of Tianjin. Tianjin was born and thrived because of the river. The South Canal and the North Canal converged in Tianjin, which was originally a small dock and a canal called Zhigu, where ships stopped and transited here, gradually forming a settlement of a certain scale. Most of the people living here are laborers, working on canal ships and merchants reselling goods. After working all day, people usually choose to watch plays and listen to music for leisure time. Therefore, folk art in Tianjin has developed greatly, and a crosstalk that is still popular today has grown and developed in Tianjin. Crosstalk is usually performed by 2 people on stage. One person is responsible for telling jokes and making the audience laugh, and the other person is assisting in improving the performance and controlling the rhythm. Through dialogue, the audience is immersed in a cheerful atmosphere. Influenced by this culture, Tianjin people have formed a humorous character. For example, this is a road sign unique to Tianjin, which means no joking while driving. Besides, Tianjin was one of the cities in ancient China that stepped into the early capitalist society. The canal there was able to quickly send goods to different cities, and that really gave a boost to the development of Tianjin's handicraft industry. This is a clay sculpture from Tianjin, which originated from the Qing dynasty. Because the founder's surname was Zhang, it is known as clay figure Zhang. Legend has it that the founder Zhang Mingshan could make a statue of the person in front of him with one hand in his pocket just by taking a glance. Now look at the statues. Most of these are taken from Chinese classical legends and historical figures. They are made of high-quality clay and colored with mineral pigments, which will not deform or fade over time. These clay sculptures are lifelike with different expressions. No matter in ancient times or now, these clay sculptures are exquisite craft and collectibles. Back in the Ming Dynasty, the city of Tianjin was built around the drum tower. The drum tower is shaped like a square with 4 directions corresponding to the 4 city gates of the Tianjin Old City. Inside the drum tower, there's a big bell. In ancient times, there were people in the city who would ring the bell and beat the drum to let people know what time it was. Nowadays, even though the old city wall of Tianjin isn't there anymore, Many Tianjin people have a special feeling for the old city near the Drum Tower. They just love to live close by. To the east of the Drum Tower is Tianjin's Ancient Culture Street. It's a pedestrian street in the style of the Qing dynasty. Way back in ancient times, this area was a really busy place where silver trading was concentrated. It's what we now call Financial Street. And right in the central area were the Tianhou Palace and the Opera Stage. The Tianhou Palace was a place where people worshipped the sea god, and the Opera Stage was a place for both men to get together and have some fun. Today, this has turned into a commercial street in Tianjin, where all kinds of traditional folk art and folk culture come together. There are lots of crosstalk clubs, tea houses, jewelry and jade shops, and handicraft shops there. Well, Tianjin is pretty close to the sea. People there live and work on water all the time. And quite often, some bad things happen like fogs joining or ships running into trouble or sinking. So people in Tianjin also believe in Mazu, who's the ocean goddess in our traditional Chinese culture. There's a Tianhou Palace, both in Tianjin's Ancient Culture Street and on the seaside of Tianjin Port. When fishermen or sailors go out to sea, they will go to these Tianhou palaces to pray to Mazu, hoping that she will keep them safe and bring them peace. So now, let's move on to the Tianhou Palace, which is also known as Mazu Temple. And this temple was built in Ming Dynasty. In Chinese culture, the Mazu Temple is for the people, especially for the fisher and the sailor, to pray for their safety work on the sea, and sometimes to pray for the goodness and the healthy of their family. So in the Spring Festival or some celebrations, there are a lot of people come here to hope to have some great wishes for their family. Look at these paintings in the Tianhou Palace. They show the scenes of people celebrating festivals on Tianjin's Ancient Culture Street and at the Canal Transportation Wharf in Tianjin. Back in ancient times, those boatmen first started to worship the sea goddess Mazu near the Tianhou Palace, and they would put on performance to show their respect for the goddess. Then the streets on both sides of the Tianhou Palace gradually became commercial markets and places for the New Year's good markets. Every year on the 23rd day of the third lunar month, which is Mazu's birthday, the Tianhou Palace would hold the Tianjin Emperor Assembly. At the times, all kinds of folk arts like dragon lanterns, stilt working, and land boats would be performed. And during the Spring Festival, grand temple fires and celebrations would be held right here. People would come to pray for peace and good luck in the new year. In the period of the Republic of China, foreign countries set up concessions in Tianjin. Those foreigners who came to Tianjin founded schools, hospitals, churches, bars, restaurants, and all sorts of entertainment venues, which had a huge impact on the lifestyle of local residents in Tianjin. At the same time, the newspapers, magazines, and printed books established by the concessions of various countries also brought different cultural influences. And this had a really big impact on Tianjin's traditional culture. At this time, China was in the process of social transformation and the rise of industrial science. More and more young people were receiving new style education and learning about science and culture from different countries. Gradually, the citizens living in Tianjin also began to accept the Western lifestyle. For example, watching movies, reading newspapers, eating Western food, and listening to concerts. This is Tianjin Concert Hall, a neoclassical style building with a white exterior, so it is also called Little White Building. In 1922, it was the first movie theater established by foreigners in Tianjin called Ping'an Cinema, which mainly screened Hollywood movies. The ticket price was expensive, and the main consumers were domestic and foreign politicians, businessmen, warlords, etc. Later, it was transformed into a concert hall and has become a professional music venue for holding large-scale concerts in Tianjin. The Astor Hotel is the first foreign-related hotel in Tianjin. It was built in 1863 and is an important diplomatic venue in modern Chinese history. Li Hongzhang, a minister of the Qing dynasty, Sun Zhongshan, the President of the Republic of China, Hoover, the President of the United States, Edward VIII, the King of England, Charlie Chaplin, the comedian, Mei Lanfang, the Master of Peking Opera, and other politicians and celebrities have stayed here at that time. There's this guy named John Innocent. He's a British Christian missionary, and he's the one who founded this hotel. When he first built this hotel, it was just an ordinary hotel. Afterwards, he and his buddies together expanded the hotel, and it turned into the tallest building in Tianjin back then. After it was set up, the Astor Hotel was really popular among foreigners in the concession area. Foreign embassies would hold meetings and even set up their stations right there. What's more, some of the unequal treaties that the Qing government signed with foreign countries were signed right here. Look at the wax figure right in front of you. It's Li Hongzhang. He was a pretty important official in the late Qing dynasty. And these exhibits here are the stuff that was used when China and France signed the Treaty of Tianjin. They're showing us the scene of how the treaty was signed right at the Astor Hotel. The facilities that are over 100 years old are still kept right here. Look at this elevator. It's the oldest one in China. It was installed way back in 1924, and it's the first generation product of the oldest elevator company. And guess what? It can still be used even today. The interior architectural style here is really something. It's got that classic Victorian era decoration. There's the original solid wood flooring, old-fashioned decorations, and oil paintings hanging on the walls. When you're here, it's like you'll be magically transported back to that time over 100 years ago. This is a museum that's downstairs from the hotel. There are lots of things in this museum that were used back in those days. You know, like the curved benches from the Italian Renaissance period. And there's also furniture like baths, sofas, and wardrobe that were in the guest rooms at that time. When you get to the restaurant, you'll find that the original tables and chairs, the used tableware, the customized menu, Puyi's photograph that he used to listen to music, and the piano that Song Qingling played are all kept right here. It really shows what life was like during the Tianjin concession period. You know what? Today, the Astor Hotel is still open for business. It's got this bright lobby and kind of old-fashioned, rustic decor, and they go together so well, making up a really special style for the hotel. People in Tianjin have this unique feeling about the Astor Hotel, I guess because it's been around all along with the development of Tianjin. Even now, lots of folks from Tianjin still like to come here to soak up that charm from over the past 100 years or so. In the French concession during the Republic of China era, there was a famous shopping mall in Tianjin called Tianjin Market. The signboard from its opening period is still preserved today. Its name embodies the ideas of the Chinese people at that time to develop industry and revitalize China. This used to be a city that never sleeps, with a variety of products, cinemas, tea houses, rooftop gardens, and more. People socialized and had fun here, talked big, and envisioned a new world. Now, the newly built modern commercial center and the industrial exhibition hall from 100 years ago across the street from each other, as if the old and new worlds are in dialogue. Tianjin's century-old history and culture are solidified here. Today, the Haihe River still flows quietly through Tianjin. On its surface, Tianjin has neutral traditional culture with local characteristics. It has also accepted and absorbed Western culture with the development of the times. Tianjin's culture is no longer just a traditional colonial culture or the Western culture from the Republic of China, but a combination of both. It includes both the openness and tolerance of the colonial culture, as well as the modernity and diversity of Western culture. Hi guys, I'm Fei. Today I'm going to have you to have a visit in my hometown, Tianjin. Tianjin is a big city with rich history, vibrant culture, as well as mouth-watering cuisine. So now let's start with the classic Tianjin cuisine, breakfast, in my hometown. Let's go! When we're talking about what people in Tianjin like to eat, we're gonna mention the breakfast in Tianjin. Look, this is a morning market in the northwest corner of Tianjin, with a majority of Hui people living nearby. Recently, it's become a really famous breakfast market in Tianjin, and it's so popular that it's been drawing lots of tourists from the other places who come here just to have a taste of the delicious Tianjin breakfast. Back in ancient times, most of the folks living in Tianjin were manual laborers working on transport ships. Doing that kind of heavy physical work took up a whole lot of energy. So it was really important to quickly fill up on energy with breakfast. Besides that, the boatmen had such a heavy workload that they didn't have much time for breakfast. So they needed a breakfast that was very easy to carry around and store. The breakfast in Tianjin is mostly made up of pastries that are rich in carbs, like deep fried dough sticks, fried cakes, rolls, and so on. These are all made by frying the dough. And then there are things like xiaobing, the baked cake in a griddle, and pancakes, which are made by baking the dough. People in Tianjin usually only go for the breakfast shops close to their homes. I think there are two main reasons for that. Firstly, nobody usually wants to travel far just to have breakfast, right? So the breakfast shops near home are definitely the top choice. Secondly, when you've been eating breakfast from the same shop for a long time, your taste buds kind of get used to that taste already. That's why a lot of the customers at Tianjin's breakfast shops are regulars who keep coming back again and again. The most famous breakfast among Chinese people in Tianjin has got to be the pancake pastry. The pancake pastries in Tianjin are actually an improved version of the coarse grain pancakes from Shandong province. You take the batter made from mung bean coarse grain and pour it into the frying pan, then spread it out into a cake shape. Next, you crack an egg in there and wait till it's fried and set. After that, you spread on some fermented bean curd, sweet sauce, chili sauce, and such. Then you add some lettuce and either put in pastries like deep fried dough sticks or those thin sliced pastries. Finally, you sprinkle on some scallions and sesame seeds. And you know what? It only takes a few minutes to make a set of pancake pastries. Plus, it's really easy to carry around, so it's super popular among office workers. Well, on top of that, Tianjin is located in northern China and is pretty close to the grasslands of Inner Mongolia, so it's been influenced by ethnic minorities. In the diet here, people eat more beef and mutton, and lamb soup is a really good choice for getting some good nutrition in the autumn and winter seasons. First, you gotta wash the lamb and it's awful real clean. Then put them together with the lamb leg bones in a big pot and stew them. That way, all the nutrients in the lamb, the offal, and the lamb leg bones will stay in the soup. After that, take out the lamb and the sheep offal, chop them up, and mix them with a thick soup. And just like that, a bowl of really fragrant lamb soup is all ready to be enjoyed. At this time, the mutton soup is just so-so if you don't add anything. You gotta add stuff like sesame paste, fermented bean curd, leek flour paste, pepper, and so on, according to your own taste to make it taste even better. When you pair it up with pancakes, wow, you will feel full of energy right away. Besides, beef xiaobing is also a great choice for breakfast. We took that crispy roasted xiaobing and put some marinated beef in between. And just like that, it can quickly give your body the energy it needs. There are actually lots of snacks and cakes in Tianjin. You know, like ear-hole fried cake, bean paste xiaobing, fish slice, sashima, bean paste cake, chicken rolls, and so on. I didn't feel like I'd had enough for breakfast, so we went and bought some pastries. Then we just walked around for a while and had some of them. It was really convenient and tasted so good. Do you know gobi leaf steamed bun is one of the local snacks in Tianjin? It started way back in 1858. The guy who started it had a nickname Gouzi, and when his business was really good, he just didn't feel like talking to the customers much. So the customers gave him the nickname Gobili. And now it's actually turned into a big comprehensive catering company. There's this fried dough twisted, which is also called guifaxiang. It was set up in the 1920s and is a really famous snack in Tianjin, China. You know, it's different from the fried dough twist in other places. The ones in Tianjin are usually pretty big. Just look at those giant fried dough twists in that display cabinet. I wonder how long they can stay fresh. Anyway, Now, the fried dough twist and the 18 street of Tianjin has become a special gift that has got a unique flavor of Tianjin. Tianjin is right on the coast of the Bohai Sea, and because of that, there are all kinds of different seafood available all year round. In springtime, there are shrimp and rainbow fish. With summer comes, there are clams and razor clams. Then in autumn, you can find mackerel and crabs, and in winter, there are oysters and whitetail. There's a saying in Tianjin that goes like this: borrowing money to eat seafood is not enough. You can tell from this just how much people in Tianjin love to eat seafood. Here's the seafood morning market in the Binhai new area of Tianjin. It opens up every morning at 5 o'clock sharp. Lots of folks who live nearby come here to buy fresh seafood. Some of the seafood is shipped in from other places, and some is caught right from the sea. You know, when it comes to seafood, freshness is the key, and being so close to the sea really guarantees the quality of it. We bought some seafood and then rushed home real quick. We just put a mantis shrimp and oysters in a pot and steamed them. Then we served them with some dipping sauce and took our time to enjoy that fresh taste straight from the sea. Man, it was so good. People in Tianjin also grew to love having delicious Western food. Take the Qishilin Western restaurant right in front of us, for example. It's one of the earliest Western restaurants in Tianjin. It's a German restaurant that was opened by a German named Albert Schwerin back in 1907. Besides that, there are also lots of traditional Western restaurants and bars on Tianjin's Italian-style street. In the summertime, the streets are just full of people. They are all listening to music, having a beer, eating Western food, and just enjoying that really romantic atmosphere of Italy right here in China. The taste of Tianjin cuisine is mainly salty and fresh, who are skilled in cooking river fresh, seafood, and so on. After wandering for a day, we choose to go to a nearby traditional Tianjin restaurant to taste Tianjin cuisine. This is a carp with fish scales, which is fried in hot oil until crispy. The vermicelli is fried at the bottom of a plate, and the sweet and sour sauce is poured over the carp, emitting a pungent and sour aroma. The carp has been fried until crispy and can be easily decomposed with a fork. When eaten, the fish skin, scales, flesh, and bones make a crispy sound in the mouth, with a sweet and a sour taste, fragrant but not crazy. This is a chicken roast with shredded duck. The duck meat is mixed with soy sauce and fried. Then the egg cake is wrapped with duck meat, shredded green onion, shredded cucumber, and other vegetables, and then wrapped with egg liquid, bread bran, and other vegetables for frying. It has both a refreshing taste of vegetables and a salty smell of duck meat. The egg cake is crispy and tastes rich. This is Qianlong cabbage, which is said to have been tasted by Emperor Qianlong. It is made by tearing fresh and tender cabbage into slices by hand, then adding sesame paste, sweet and sour sauce, honey, salt, and other seasonings, and cold mixing. The taste is refreshing and salty sweet. This is shrimp sauce and the corn tortilla, which are staple foods. The corn tortilla is dipped in marinated shrimp sauce and paired with cucumber shreds. The sweetness of the corn tortilla, the freshness of the cucumber shreds, and the saltiness of the shrimp sauce create a different flavor when mixed together. The dishes are ready. Now it's time to enjoy the yummy food. Alright, that's all for today's trip to Tianjin. Actually, there are still many places with all kinds of stories, interesting people, and cool events in Tianjin. Well, I will just leave all that for you to go and explore on your own. Thank you for watching and coming along with me. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. See you next time. Bye.